up? I'm back with another content review. I know I've been completely inconsistent. I feel like I have horrible content, but I'm still making this content review. It would eventually get better, but with me wanting to actually make YouTube videos in life and have that like as something I can do for fun, I need to start being more consistent. So with this concert review, I'm doing the most recent one that I went to, and that was Rif 101 the Rif. They have Rif Fest. Um, so I think this was the first one. I'm not sure, but it's the first time I've heard of it. If it's been around longer, so I decided to go. It was a great show. It was all day thing. I loved it. There was like bands that started out like New Year's Day. They did a good job. And then I mostly walked around and played games and went and seen everything that they had because they have more than just the music. They also have like games and contests you can enter. So I went around, chilled, ate, and then when like the headliner starts playing, I enjoyed that. There's bands like Pop Evo, Greta Van Fleet, Rob Zombie, Five Finger Death Punch. I think Radkey was there. There was like, it was pretty good. Like they had a good lineup. But the ones that stood out to me the most, of course, was Rob Zombie, Five Finger Death Punch, and Greta Van Fleet. Let's start with Greta Van Fleet. So I had heard about them being there a few days before the concert. It's my first time hearing about them. And I didn't know they're actually from, I think, like Michigan. I live in Michigan. I think they're from like the Grand Rapids area. But they're all around my age. It's crazy because their talent is ridiculous. It sounds like Led Zeppelin. Like their voice, the lead singer's voice is something like unheard of. He is so good. It really sounds like Led Zeppelin. They put on a really good show, especially for them like not being as big as the rest of the headliners. Now they're like just like shooting up there. They're getting huge. They're playing Coachella this summer or in May, or April, whenever it is. But they're really good. Like I was not expecting that, especially like from such a young age. They really got the crowd going. They're really like consistent with the performance. They put on a great show, great stage presence, and everything. They're definitely worth to see. Five Finger Death Punch. I've listened to them for a while, and I just recently started getting into them more, especially with this concert. They did so good. And one thing I love, they're really big on veterans, and then did like a whole like song and little speech for the veterans and everything. I noticed like with kids in the crowd, they pulled them up on stage. That's a memory that a kid will forever remember. Like that's something that kids will always love, and they're always gonna remember that. So I know if that were to happen to me when I was that age, it would have such a big impact on my life now. That is just like crazy to be pulled up by Five Finger Death Punch onto stage. So the last band that I absolutely loved, because all the bands are great, but Rob Zombie, wow, like that is someone I've always wanted to see. I love his movies, everything. And being able to be there with him performing, I cried. He had blow up aliens going through the crowd. There was like blow up balls and like balloons, everything. The crowd was hyped. There was mosh pits. And it was like DTE energy. If you've never been there, it's like on a hill for the lawn. They have seats too, but the lawn, which is the tickets I can afford, were on a hill. So imagine like a mosh pit, like of people like at a slant. It was crazy to see. People were like falling, drunk people were rolling down the hills, but it was great. But the one thing I like complain about, the smoking, because like smoking doesn't bother me. A lot of my friends' parents smoke, but even like my best friend, his mom smokes. He was there with me, and the smoke bothered him. It was so bad, like with everyone smoking. That's the only complaint I had, because people were like blowing it towards me, and I have asthma. And I go to concerts all the time. Usually smoke doesn't bother me, but after being out there all day in the hot sun and everything, my head was pounding. Like for a lot of the bands, I just sat down because like I was about to cry. My head was killing me, but I still had a great time. Eventually, me and my best friend and my boyfriend ended up sneaking over the barriers between the lawn and the seats and went under the pavilion because it sucked because it started raining. Our clothes were soaked. It started to get cold at night. Oh my god, that sucks so bad because our clothes were soaked. And we went and bought like a $20 umbrella and it stopped raining. So, but we went under the pavilion. We got to enjoy like the headliners there. And when Rob Zombie came up, like we were like standing up, singing the songs, dancing, jumping. Like we moved up some as much as we could. It was just, that was a great show. The only thing, since we weren't those are our assigned seats, we have to keep moving when people will come, like because it was their seats. We can't take their seats. But we ended up getting pretty lucky. We ended up getting pretty close. Just being able to like not pay all that money and sneak up for the headliner of the show. So that was really good. I definitely suggest seeing all those bands. If they have Rif Fest again next year, definitely a suggestion to go, especially if you live in Michigan and you listen to the Rif, you like rock, you like music. Even if that's not your genre, just the energy of that show was crazy. Like, being able to see Rob Zombie was mind-blowing. Never thought I'd be able to. Good. It was a great late birthday present. It was me and my best friend, my boyfriend, and my dad. My dad had a great time. I know he loved it more than anything. He was just like, he left us because we brought him a seat in the first place, and he ended up moving up and being able to like be in the crowds and everything. If you haven't heard of any of those artists, definitely go. I'll put all like the Wrif Fest lineup in the bio. Definitely check all them out. I don't think you'll be disappointed, especially if you listen to that music. But yeah, I'm gonna try to be more consistent, try to get a fan base. So if you like my content, I know it's not the best right now. Probably gonna get better content. I'm gonna do other things besides just content reviews. But like and subscribe. I'll put my social media in my bio. And also, if you love cute clothes, like, don't know the name for it, like tie-dye clothes and stuff like that, there's a website called Teen Hearts. And they have the cutest clothes, and their prices are great. Like, you can get a shirt for $25, you can get a hoodie for $40, and they're so cute, good quality. So the website is Teen Hearts. I'll put the link down below, and if you want 10% off at your checkout, use my discount code TrippyJess, and TRIPPYJESS, no space. I'll put that down below, and you get 10% off.